Hello, everyone. This is Raj Menon from Saas Reviews and Interviews. With me, I have Vlad Gozman from Involve Me. Welcome, Vlad. Nice to see you.
Hey, thank you for having me.
Yeah, sure. Vlad, I'm just going to ask you a few questions, and basically, you've got a product called Involve Me. Could you just tell me briefly about what the product does?
Yeah, sure. So Involve Me is a user engagement platform that enables businesses to easily create interactive content as standalone landing pages or embeddable widgets for their website. And it's an easy, intuitive drag and drop process by which they can publish anything from a simple interactive form to more complex quizzes and surveys, up to real digital sales assistants, product configurators, price calculators, and the such. And the central point of it is data collection, engagement of customers and users, and sort of a better communication with your user base and audience.
Okay, great. And how did you come up with the idea of Involve Me, or how did you come up with this idea of this app?
Yeah, it's a great question. We had we started off completely with a different product. We were developing something in the virtual reality space, also a SaaS business, but that's basically all the common denominator it had with what we're doing now. We, at some point when we realized that the whole consumer market is not picking up in the VR space, we had formed a team of talented developers. We decided to keep that team as much as possible until we figure out what we do next. And we started doing agency work to finance everything, right? So out of these agency work, we got a lot of projects that were similar. They were mainly quizzes for getting customer data. So standalone landing pages on a project basis, promotions in a quiz format. We did those in an agency model and sort of figured out for ourselves that we can automate parts of it, because in essence, it would be the same technical backbone for it.
Yeah.
And these companies, they didn't want to use off-the-shelf products. You know, I mean, we've approached them and said, why don't you use Typeform? Why don't you use this and that? Why don't you use a SurveyMonkey for your needs? And the common answer was that they wanted something that fitted their corporate identity and didn't look like a third-party product, basically.
Right.
So out of it grew what was the first iteration of the product, which was called Brandquiz, and we actually rebranded Brandquiz just a month ago, basically, and now it's Involve Me with a sort of a broader scope, because we're not doing just quizzes anymore. It's a host of different content types.
So how long have you been around, and how many people are in your team?
Yeah, we've been around since beginning of 2018.
Right.
So roughly 1.5 years, I would say. The team is comprised of 7 people.
7 people, great. And you're located in Vienna, Austria?
That's right. We're in Vienna, Austria. I would say beautiful Vienna, Austria, but the weather is like influencing my characterization of it. So no, yeah, beautiful Vienna.
Yeah. So what would you say in your product? What's your unique selling point of this product? What's the selling points?
Yeah, so there are a couple. One I've hinted at that was sort of came out of this customer development process, working with different brands. It's the customization option. So in Involve Me, our customers are able to really go on a very granular level of customization, both in terms of design. So you can make it fit your brand and seamlessly integrate in your product or your websites, landing pages, so that it basically looks as if it's a custom coded solution.
Right.
But also on the side of the functionality, there are tons of customization options. I would say also the fact that you can create multi-step customer journeys. So the way the projects are built, you could either do like one question at a time, but you can also do several pages that you can jump in between, and each page could have like a different set of questions, and everything is again customizable. And this multi-step user customer journey would be another USP, I would say.
Great. Would you like to kind of give us a little walkthrough with a little screen share?
Sure. I mean, if the internet connection allows it.
I don't know.
I'd love to do that. Let me see how to.
There we go.
Raj, can you see it?
Yes, can see it.
Okay. So I'm logging into our master account. Here you have the project's overview. So basically, all the each content that you create is a new project. You have projects in draft mode, projects that have been published, completed. You can even archive them. Of course, you can sort through them. And I'll just start off by creating a new one. When you can choose a project type, so we basically offer a few templates for each use case, but you can also start from scratch. And also, so just so you understand, each template is completely customizable. So you're not like limited in scope by that template. So if I go for like a calculator, for example, basically you can sift through a few options here. Let's say like a car loan calculator, which is something that an auto brand might use. So you can preview it. You have always a mobile view. I'd also like to emphasize that the content is basically mobile first, so you never have to worry about how it will look on mobile, because it's built with a mobile first approach.
Yep.
Let me just put this down. And I'll say, okay, let's look at another template. Let's preview this one. It's on the website. Okay, let me just use it. Now, when I selected the template, I get into the sort of the heart of the product, which is our builder. Yeah. And you can rename it. You can also select multiple outcomes, which I'll quickly get into. Is basically an option to have several thank you pages and direct users to different outcomes or different thank you pages with different messages according to what they answer. So you can create like a segmentation and sort of a personalized customer journey for them. Yeah. So yeah, you see here there are sort of three parts of it. Like you have the canvas where like what you see is what you get, sort of. You have all the elements here, the content elements on the right, where you can just drag and drop one of them. Let's and down here is what I've referred to previously. This like multi-page, multi-step process where you can just shift between pages.
Very straightforward. It's very, very easy to use.
It's super easy to use and intuitive. So like even if you just pick one of these pages like this one and you just drag and drop it like in another place in the project, right? And it just changes. So it's super, super easy to use. You can name pages, you can delete them, duplicate them just with one click like this, or even just click on the plus and have another page in between. And then drag and drop an element like our new date and time picker, which we recently launched. Yeah, just let me get this down. Okay, so you can also get elements pretty easily. Just you select one and copy it to the clipboard with your keyboard combination, jump to another page and just paste it there, right? So when I mean, this can take hours because the product has already a big breadth of a big scope of features, but I'll just get into the basics. So, and Raj, just interrupt me if you have questions anytime. So basically, the content elements are pretty straightforward. You have different types of interactive elements like slider, rating, date and time picker, and so forth, but also like the classics. You can embed videos. You have optimizable opt-in checkboxes, timer, and the calculator I'll show at the end. But in terms of the customization options, you have a layer that goes overall, like a general project design layer, where you can just click on this icon. It opens up the general project design settings. And you have stuff that goes over the whole project, right? So you can just with one click change the content alignment, for example, just have a look at how it feels. You could also go and this takes effect over all components over the whole project, right?
Right.
And you could just go and say, oh, content card visibility is transparent at this point. Let's see how it would look if we change that, right?
It's quite customizable, isn't it?
It's super customizable, and this is just scratching the surface. So you go over. You can even switch between like the transparent design and a concrete one. You'd have colors for text, for content elements, even for highlights, even how rounded the corners are. You just go here and with the slider customize it. Then you can upload background images, choose alignment. You'll see like the brightness and so forth. Yeah. A lot of options. You can even choose to have a different setting for mobile, because some pictures and combinations of backgrounds and content items work well on desktop, but on mobile you need something different. So you can do this here. Just check this box and have a different setup for mobile. And this is only scratching the surface, as I've said, because it's basically the
that's only one of the components here. You've got
it's the overall setting, but you can go into the components, right? You can go into the content elements. For instance, you choose multiple choice, and you'll see you'll have a design tab here. So now it uses the general design settings, but you can customize this element. And when you do this, when you just toggle this on, you have a lot more options than before.
All right.
So you can just see here, it might be overwhelming, but you don't need to go this deep. But if you need to, then you can. So you have everything.
So when they're done with all of this, obviously you could CNAME it and they can use it on their own website, or is it only an Involve Me? Can they use a subdomain or?
Yeah, definitely. So there are three options. One is what you get out of it is standalone landing page on app.involveme / your organization / your project name.
Yeah.
You can get at the same time a customizable embed code, and I'll show you when we go and publish this project. And you can integrate it in your own web apps or landing pages and so forth. And you can buy custom domains and with CNAME put it under your own.
That's great.
Yeah, everything's is there. So just before I go into publish mode, just to show you the calculator, you see here, like we have stuff that for personalization, so you can pass along answers from previous questions. Like if I ask for a first name, you can pass it on into upcoming steps in the customer journey. So if you know the name of your customer, you can address him, which is pretty basic, but of course, just pointing out we have that.
Yeah.
And then the calculator, because this would be an example of cost estimation or an offer, a personalized offer that you can that companies use our tool, put it on their website and have customized offerings either for their services or products. So how they achieve this is that they have this formula builder with a calculator, where basically they can in this sort of drag and drop process put
they can put
a formula together.
Yep.
If that makes sense. Basically from the answers and assign different values to each answer, right. And then these values will be used in the formula builder for the final result.
Right.
So basically, that means you can calculate customized offering for your customers in this case.
Right.
Okay, so now you'll say, okay, I want to publish this. Okay, these are not connected. I'll publish it anyway. So this just means that each outcome needs connection of the answers from previous questions out of the project. And I'll just show you here that you can also include Google Analytics, tracking ID, Facebook tracking pixel. We're just working on the Google Tag Manager, which will be out in the coming 2 weeks. You have settings for social media sharing. You can even integrate chat widgets like Intercom on it, on each project. I'll just publish it. I'll publish it anyway. Okay, and here you can see you'll get this link.
The embed code, yeah.
And the embed code, right? And here you can customize it, just say, oh, 500, right? And you can see live embed preview here.
Preview is pretty nice, nice touch there.
Yeah, and you see it like it. You can disable dynamic height resize as well. Make it 800 here, right? Right. So you can see how it will look like.
Nice.
Right. Nice. We also have integrations for overall on the organization level, but also on a granular project level. So we have native integrations to sort of popular ESPs like ActiveCampaign, Campaign Monitor, GetResponse, MailChimp, MailJet, and SendLane. Then Zapier, we're connected natively into Zapier. Through Zapier, you can get to over 1,000 apps.
Yeah.
And webhooks, of course, which is basically if you can create your own send data to an endpoint to your own server. So code your own integration, basically.
Right.
Yeah. That being said, maybe one last point is we have an affiliate program. might be interesting to some. We offer 30% recurring commission on unlimited referrals and commissions, and the ones who are in the program can offer a 15% discount as an incentive to their base and audience.
Sure, that's great. That's pretty interesting. And you got a lot of templates as well.
We have a lot of templates, over 60 templates at this point, professionally designed by designers, and also use cases.
You're coming out with more templates, or?
Yeah, we're constantly looking at templates and gathering what the user base would love to have, and then building out those use cases and just letting them professionally being designed.
Right. Cool.
Yeah. Also, you have an analytics section. I didn't show that. I mean, I have too many projects here. I don't know which one has data to like show you, but no, this one doesn't. If you look at the overall, you get like total projects, how many published, views, participants, overall completion rate, average minutes to completion. And then when you go on a project level, you have also stuff like outcome distribution. So which one of the outcomes got how many % of your answers. And you go into detail and have a response summary. You get the personal data, and you also have detailed responses, right? And you can export it in the paid plans as CSV and XLS.
Great. Good.
Right. So
yeah. So how do you do your support? Is your support based on do you do live chat? Do you do ticketing? Do you do a little bit of both? How do you work support?
Yeah. So at this point, we do a little bit of both, but more live chat. Yeah, we're still very close to the support channels. So we learn a lot from talking to customers.
Right.
And have quite a lively support.
Oh, great. And how do you work your roadmap? Is that something that you let users vote on, or is that something that you basically look at and says, okay, this is our roadmap, this is how we are doing it? How do you work your roadmaps?
Yeah, it's a great question, and then the answer is ever evolving, I would say, because I mean, we are definitely the ones who are deciding, and we're not putting it up to vote, but we're trying to get as much feedback as possible and make an informed decision. But we're not open sourcing this decision to anyone else than us.
And one final question is that what would you tell your users, your potential users, what is it that will make them subscribe to your service? What is it that you want to tell them? Why they should get into Involve Me?
Yeah, so basically Involve Me will help them reach completely new levels of user engagement. It will help them up their customer involvement, and also enable them to have a more personalized, interactive communication with their customer base. And in the end, it will help them sell better, because the users are approached in a completely different way, and everything being in the corporate identity that they have, and not trying to mash something like a third-party tool in this communication process, which is super important, and you don't want users to second guess at any of the stuff. The process.
Great. Vlad, thank you so much for taking the time to interview with us. We really appreciate it. It's a great program, and really enjoyed this.
Thank you, Raj.
Thanks.